Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to an extra John Gaunt podcast. Starmer's Banana Republic must be deposed, or he must be deposed. He is trying to create a banana republic where he's the dictator, where democracy dies, where we don't have any elections anymore. And in this show, I'll examine it and show you how he's doing it. And I'm saying he's got to be stopped. I'm not preaching a revolution, tanks in the streets, or anything else. I'm saying by democracy. But I say this man is not a Democrat. This man is turning into a dictator. Do you agree with me? Oh, by the way, Merry Christmas, even to you, Mr. Starmer. Let's get started then, because this isn't abstract. This isn't theoretical. This is Keir Starmer's Britain, a banana republic, where power is increasingly centralized on him. Dissent, free speech, is completely policed and they're trying to silence it. Parliament has been sidelined, and the consent of the British people is treated as optional. That is why they're cancelling elections. Nothing must affect the supreme leader. No one is allowed to dent the cult of the personality. Although, of course, he's got zero personality and zero charisma. So this live show, I'm going to try and lay out the case that under Keir Starmer, Britain, the United Kingdom, is being reshaped away from a constitutional democracy and something far more dangerous, a system where power flows downward from the state, not upward as it should do from us, the people. And it's no surprise that he's doing this just as Christmas happens. Last day of Parliament, he was pushing loads of stuff through. This man is sneaky. This man is slippery. This man is dangerous. I also don't like him, but it's not about personality. We know he's had a charisma bypass. It's about how Starmer and Labour governs, what they tolerate and what their system incentivises. I'll show you how Starmer's leadership is marked by elections. And we'll talk about this. If you want to comment, just write a comment in the box now and we'll come to it. Elections are being treated as an inconvenience rather than a mandate. In other words, have an election, get elected, and do completely the opposite of what's in your manifesto. Don't hold elections if it's going to make out that I'm unpopular, so we won't have the local elections. And also, he's governing while sidelining or ignoring the House of Commons. He's even had a rollicking from the Speaker on a couple of occasions. He thinks every Wednesday he stands up and he talks to his people as if he's the supreme leader. That is not how our democracy works. So he's sidelining or even ignoring the House of Commons. Admittedly, many of them are muppets anyway. He's completely abandoned manifesto commitments once he got into power. Where should we start? The farmers, winter fuel allowance, the freebies, etc., etc., etc. He's also criminalising offensive political speech. I don't know if you saw the darts where everyone was singing Starmer is a wanker, right? You even had Sky, they turned the sound down so you couldn't hear what the crowd are singing. Are they going to start doing that at football? Because everybody's singing at the football as well. Starmer, if you don't want people to sing that you're a wanker, how about not being one? How about being accountable to the British public? I don't like this. This is a suppression of free speech, and free speech does include offensive speech. No one has the right not to be offended. He's criminalising it. They're saying even Christmas songs, like, for example, Fairy Tale of New York, again, banned by the BBC. Why? Oh, it's because they use the word faggot. It's in the song. It's a piece of art. That song is a fantastic song. That's not a word I would use in regular parlance, and probably nobody else. But within the song, historically, it's correct, isn't it? And then the other thing he's doing is expanding police powers through vague and very, very subjective hate crime laws, which seem to only really extend to white working class people, not everybody else. So you can say globalize the intifada or whatever it's called this week, but you can't say we've got a problem with the rape gangs. Now he's undermining trial by jury. Lammy, we can trust him, can't we? The Jaffa King, he wants to get rid of trial by jury. He says it would help the administration. It would get rid of the backlog. No, hang on a minute. What about the Magna Carta? What about the fact that this is our law? They want to give Ofcom even more control, this time over the internet and online speech. It's dangerous, very, very dangerous. So he's regulating dissent via unelected bodies instead of Parliament. There's more to come. Just put your comments in the box. This is the John Gaunt Show. We're not going to mess about. This is almost the night before Christmas. Merry Christmas, by the way. It's the night before Christmas. But we've got to stand up to this. Otherwise, we're going to wake up with a blazing hangover on New Year's Day, and it'll be a brave new dawn. We'll be living in Starmer's world. And what a joyful place that will be. I'm being sarcastic. Good to see the likes are coming in. Press the like button if you like what I'm saying. And also, please leave a comment. All those people there already. Fraser Ford, Den Spinks, Sharon Walker, Leon Tail, Darren Cummings, we're coming to you. And don't forget, if you want to make a donation, just bang that button, that $sign, and donate whatever you can afford. It is Christmas, by the way. Let's carry on, because I'm only just beginning to lay out the agenda today. I've thought long and hard about this one. Let's address selective enforcement and cultural engineering. They're now going to, this is just like a dictatorship. They're going to have ideological, I'm calling it what it is, re-education of boys on misogyny. Now, I don't want boys to be misogynists. Of course I don't. And of course, boys are going to learn and be taught how to respect women and vice versa and all other people. Of course I want that. I'm the father of 2 daughters. But I must ask, is this the priority when it comes to misogyny or hatred of women? Or would it not be the Pakistani Muslim or rape gangs that we should be concentrating on? Or even that religion, which clearly makes women second-class citizens, especially when they're forced to wear the burqa, which has nothing at all to do with the religion. It was invented by the Saudis. So we're going to teach every boy about the crime of misogyny. We're going to re-educate these boys because, let's face it, working class boys, they're the problem. Oh, no, they're not. I would suggest working class boys are the ones who have been left behind. Look at the educational standards and the actual statistics. But no, not with Labour. They want to re-educate, ideologically re-educate the working class. But they won't touch a certain community. Why not? Because they're scared of a backlash. Because fundamentally, a lot of the problems we've got at the moment, it's not Muslims, it's Islamist extremists. And a lot of our politicians, both locally and nationally, are frit of them, scared stiff of them. So they ignore or downplay the grooming gangs, FGM, forced marriage, sectarian coercion, parallel legal cultures. Equality before the law has been replaced by political fear and silence. Do you agree with me? And then we've got the wider system surrounding Starmer. There's a media narrative control and framing. I mean, look at the BBC. They've decided Israel were the enemy with Palestine, and so they wrote biased reports. They decided that Donald Trump is a monster. Therefore, they actually alter his speeches. They re-edit it. This isn't their job. It's not the job of government either. It's the sort of thing that would happen in North Korea. Then we get loyal but totally incompetent appointments beneath the leadership. Look at the honours system. Look at the people they've put in the House of Lords. Look at the people who have failed as politicians, but Labour make them Lords. Let's look at the whole idea of weakening the family and replacing the family and our role, which is to educate our kids in everything from sex education to culture to the way we treat women, etc., etc. That's all been taken away from parents. The state will provide. I say the state will try and bloody brainwash. And then look at the denial, the rewriting of British history, as if it's something to be shameful of, that everything we did with the empire was wrong, that we were slave traders, conveniently forgetting that we were the first to stop it. Then look at the expansion of welfare dependency. Why do you think they do that? Why do you think they've just stolen all that money from decent working people to give to people on benefits? It's because if people have welfare dependency, it creates political compliance. It creates votes, just like letting in the boats. And 800 people crossed last night alone into Dover, 800 more flip-flop warriors. I wonder which party they'll vote for when they get given the vote, which undoubtedly they will. And then, of course, the final one, which all dictators like, is this: use of a foreign war to distract us. Ukraine, Russia, anyone? Use that as moral cover and domestic distraction. I don't think people will send their kids to Starmer's war, whether it's in the Ukraine or Russia or China. But they're already saying more people have got to join up. We've got to spend more money on defence. Do we? So this isn't about left versus right. It's about Keir Starmer's sixth form, socialist government versus democratic consent. And then when you ask me, what does deposed mean? I mean politically removed, either through parliament, party mechanisms, elections, or sustained lawful public pressure, like the farmers protested, like the women in Epping protesting. I'm not in any way suggesting or condoning violence, chaos, or anarchy. I'm saying democracy must correct itself before it's too late. If you think I'm wrong, challenge me. If you think I'm exaggerating, defend the record. But please, please don't pretend that any of this bullshit is normal. That's my essay. Now I want to hear what you have to say about all this. Press the like button if you're enjoying what I'm saying. Even if you're not enjoying it, but it's making you think, let's talk it through. I'm saying that we're living in a banana republic. I'm saying that's going to get worse over Christmas when he hasn't got the Commons there. He'll try and say whatever and do whatever he wants. I wouldn't even be surprised if at last he declares a state of emergency, but it won't be about Dover and the flip-flop warriors and the fact that 800 of them came in last night alone in dinghies. No, I'll tell you what it'll be about. It'll be the threat of Russia. Because did you know Russia eat their babies? It won't even necessarily be about China because he quite likes the Chinese. He likes the idea of the embassy. He's going to give them permission to build it on top of all our cables where we send important communiques out. This man is dangerous, in my personal opinion. I want to hear what you've got to say about it. I nearly said pick up the phone and give us a call. It's not yet a phone in. Hopefully in the new year, that's where we'll get it to. But for the moment, put your comments in the comment box and please press the like button. And don't forget, these are all independently funded, absolutely independently funded. There is some money from advertising, but it's a spit in the ocean. So if you haven't spent all your money for Christmas and you can afford something, please press that $ and donate. I've got to say a big thank you to people who went on to buymeacoffee.com/John Gaunt yesterday. People like Wojtek Koreski. Who else was there? There's loads. I'll try and read them out later. Who gave money for coffee or beers yesterday. It's just a metaphor. www.buymeacoffee.com/John Gaunt if you want to do that. And I'm going to update the roll of honour over the Christmas period. I am going to be here for the next couple of days up till Christmas. Then I'll have a few days off, and then we'll be back between Christmas and New Year. Not sure when yet, but thank you for your support in this year. But today, this is a big one. This is a big discussion. Let's get started. Fraser Thoughts just giving me a thumbs up. Thank you, Fraser. Merry Christmas, everyone, says Den Spinks. I think he thinks he's in Slade. The Guardian mocked him for being a robot. What? Starmer? Well, even the Guardian are turning against him. Good stuff. Possibly running scared as it's getting closer to election time in May 2026. Of course he's running scared. That's why he's cancelling the elections. This is what I'm talking about. He's now shoring up his position. They're now suggesting that Ed Miliband is saying, well, look, I'll keep quiet if you make me Chancellor. So they want to sack Rachel Reeves and give it to Miliband, the man who has taken us to bankruptcy with his green initiatives. Let's have your views. Lord Charfield, the new Unite leader, wants this evil government to go even further left. You're correct. And that's because of pressure from the left in the Labour Party. He can't please anyone. That man is finished. He should go now and give us some new ideas. And if Labour haven't got any new ideas, let's have an election. How about that idea? There's an old-fashioned idea. Starmer, look in the mirror. I have failed. Therefore, the honourable thing to do is stand down and give us an election. Leanne Tail 7251, a regular. Starmer is a complete and utter can't. I think you may have spelt that incorrectly. I'm just pulling your leg. Michael Yates, he's just sent a tenner, £9.99 as a super sticker on YouTube, donating it to keep these podcasts going. Thank you very much indeed, Michael. Very simple to do. He just pressed the $sign. You're main man. Darren Cummings says, Merry Christmas, John. Merry Christmas to you too. What's your name? Bob Cratchit. Don't feel that merry, though, does it? Doesn't feel that merry. Trump's pulled the deal off because we're becoming the new North Korea of Europe. Oh, you're talking about the big high-tech deal that he's pulled out of. Correct. Everything is falling apart because other leaders can see what Starmer is. Even Europe's turned against him. He's a jerk. He hasn't got a clue. I went to school with kids who are better politically informed than him. This cannot be allowed to continue. And what he's doing now over Christmas is shoring up his position. Why hasn't he talked about the 800 illegals he let in last night alone? 800. It's unsustainable, this. It's unsustainable. But he wants them because he uses them as the bogeyman. Because whilst we're looking at Dover and getting annoyed about it, which we rightly should, he's up to all kinds of taking away, stealing our freedoms. Den says he can't put us all in jail for helping make us think the way we have to think, John. Yeah, but that's the problem. You can get put in jail for what you think, what you say. I could. I'm waiting for the knock on the door from the stormtroopers. I'm kind of protected because one of my best mates is one of the top human rights lawyers in the world, and I'm sure he would relish the case, the chance to take on somebody like Starmer. Free the gaunty ones. I'm pulling your leg. I am getting merrier about Christmas. Where are we going next? Let's go here. Merry Christmas, Den and everyone, says Richard Pope. He's using my program as a personal message system. That's all right, Rich. I'm taking the mickey. You too, mate, and John Gaunt. Well, thank you for remembering that it's my show. By the way, Coventry City, brilliant. And what about Frankie Lampard giving it yesterday? Yes, Frankie. Passion. That's what I want to see in British football. Those Southampton fans were total yobbos, calling him all sorts of names all the way through the game. At the end, again, they couldn't even beat 10 men. After cheating, they couldn't beat 10 men. Coventry City were magnificent. Absolutely magnificent. And at the end, he just sort of put his fist up both to our guys, the Sky Blue Army, but also to Southampton, and rightly so. And then their players showed more passion because they all tried to give Frank a kick in and failed at that as well. Useless. Coventry City, we're going to get promoted. John, I'm afraid that you may get arrested for your points of view on Starmer. Steve Harris, you might be right. Are you going to pay for my freedom? Is it going to be free the gaunty one? I hope so. I agree. Lots of kids gone missing and bodies found in rivers. What the hell are you on about, Fraser? That's nothing to do with what we're discussing now. Don't talk crap on my show, please. Graham Hatton. Here's a bit of sense for us. Never in my wildest dreams did I ever imagine that democracy in the United Kingdom would ever be in danger. How wrong I was. Starmer has an aloofness that sets him apart from any other Prime Minister that has ever resided in Downing Street. This is good, Graham. Good stuff. Don't be fooled. Just because he has all the charisma of a packet of salt and vinegar crisps, Keir Starmer is a dangerous, dangerous man. That's the view of Kevin Hatton on Facebook. He's a regular. Kevin, brilliant words. I think I said before, my mate, who will end up hopefully defending me if the stormtroopers come through the front door over Christmas, he knew Starmer, knows him really well, and says, don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. He'd throw his own granny under the bus because straight after Christmas, you know, Rachel Reeves, she's going. No, there's going to be a bloodbath, and then the Labour Party themselves will fight each other. It's going to be marvellous to watch, apart from it's going to wreck our brilliant nation. That's what's happened. Since the adults have got back in the room, they have wrecked Great Britain. Are you with me, or are you against me? Look at the way he uses the police. Look how people are scared of what they want going to say. I have people coming up to me all the time and say, oh, yeah, Gaunt, I love what you say. You speak the truth. Yeah, well, why don't you? It's a bit more difficult. I might lose my job, which is true. Which is true. There are now firms who sell their services to big companies, all kinds of companies. Look about the lad in Waitrose who check their social media. You wouldn't even get an interview for many jobs. You wouldn't if you held the wrong views. What is going on? Eric Williams on YouTube, 2317. The illegals will vote Labour until there's enough to vote in an Islamic party. And then all politics in this country, Labour too, will be finished. Well, I'm not sure it'd go that far, but I certainly think, Eric, we have to stop the Islamists, the fanatics. You are right. Starmer wants to suck up to the EU. I think he wants to suck up to anyone who tells him he's wonderful, if you're honest. I'm honest. One wonders if Starmer took lessons from Justin Trudeau. He doesn't need to take lessons. The guy's a mental case. Andy Kershaw, G4V. I don't think it's the Andy Kershaw, but anyway, the Kalergi plan is in full swing. When you knows, you knows. Yeah, you're talking about population replacement. Yeah. Fraser Ford. Wow, after the mobile laptop scandal, they're going to give away our security because they're too lazy to police themselves. They police it themselves. You're right. No one's going to agree. That's another part of his control mechanism. He wants to get this national identity card through, the ID card. But there's more leaks when it comes to the internet and these kinds of systems than a Max Boyce concert, as I've said so many times before. Are you going to trust them with your intimate details? I have the NHS app because it hasn't actually got the medical records. But I'd be a bit doubtful. And even that doesn't work. It's always failing. All of these things are just methods of control. Let's go back to Michael Yates. I mentioned him earlier. There you are. There's the super sticker. He's donated. It says $9.99. It's because he's done it on an Apple phone or something, I think. But it's a tenner. Thank you very, very much, Michael. Really appreciated that. And I appreciate all the people over yesterday who donated coffees. Some people were donating 3 coffees. One bloke donated 10 coffees. Another bloke, 20 coffees. It's all appreciated, and I know it's Christmas, and I know money's tight, but if you can afford a few quid, go to www.buymeacoffee.com/John Gaunt, anything from a $5 upwards, or just click the, the dollar sign on the YouTube and do it, and donate what you fancy. But also, it's important to say to you, one of the best ways to support me, and it costs you nothing, is to become a subscriber of the John Gaunt Show. So go to John Gaunt TV on YouTube. A little pop-up comes up and says, do you want to subscribe? Don't panic. Don't panic, Captain Mallory. It doesn't mean you have to pay to subscribe. It's completely free, and it always will be. It just means you become, like, I suppose, a member. You're on an electronic mailing list, I guess. I don't have it. YouTube has it. So that every time I do a new show, like today, Sunday, I'm doing an extra show, it'll send you a note saying Gaunt is going live, and then you can join in or not, or you can watch the show later. Because don't forget, that's the beauty of doing these shows on YouTube and as podcasts. Don't forget the podcasts as well. You can listen to them or watch them when you want, not when somebody dictates, okay? So don't forget, you can also go to John Gaunt TV if you're listening on this on a podcast at the moment, and you can watch it in full widescreen with Gaunty. Got a nice shirt on today. So thank you very much indeed. If that's one way of doing it, or if you're listening now or watching now on YouTube, you can also then go for a walk with the dog and listen to it again on a podcast. How brilliant is that? When you think about what radio used to be like, you either watch it at 10 o'clock or you miss it. What a load of cobblers. The world has changed, and for the better. Right, thank you. If you are donating, thank you very much indeed. I'll read out your names. Only the gentry are permitted to have arms in your whacked out country, says James R.C. Irvin. He's one of my American listeners, watchers. And you're right, James. And have you noticed the way Australia, just like us, are reacting to this terrible listen to what I'm saying, Islamist terrorism in Australia? Their answer is to restrict firearms even more in Australia, even though they've got really strict gun laws. It's not guns that kill people. It's not trucks that kill people, like in Birmingham. It's not cars that kill people. It's not even bombs that kill people. It's mad terrorists. And at the moment, the biggest terrorists we face are Islamist extremists. I see that idiot in Australia, Albanese or whatever his name is, or I like to call him Ebenezer. Him, have you seen what he's doing? He went to a memorial service today, and he got booed as he went into the service, and rightly so. Australia have been so complacent about the Islamist threat. They had 300,000 march across Sydney Harbour, chanting from the river to the sea, death to the Jews, and all the rest of that shit that they come out with, and they didn't arrest them. They didn't break a few skulls. Then that almost gives a green light to that idiot and his son to start shooting innocent Jews. And I keep saying this, I don't understand where Jew hatred comes from. I just do not understand it. If there was mass shooting of Muslims, innocent Muslims at the moment, I would perhaps understand it and say, well, it's because there's been such Islamist terror, but there hasn't really been that kind of fight back. And I would say even then, it's wrong. It's not the Muslim kid, is it, coming back from the mosque who's the problem. The problem is the Islamist extremists. But what have the Jews done? And don't confuse the Jews with Israel. And even so, Israel is the only democracy in the Middle East. And as for those Palestinians supporters at the moment, did you see Zara Sultana, fruit and nutcake? Did you see her protesting outside the prison? They're going to die. They're going to die. It's going to be on Starmer's watch. She's an MP for Coventry. Zara, you were elected to be a Labour MP. Start doing your job. Number 2, Zara, your constituents don't give a shit. Do you not understand? And if those people die, oh no, she says, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Somebody could order Deliveroo or Just Eat. That's all that needs to happen. And it's interesting, isn't it, that it's Sinn Féin, IRA, who are their biggest supporters. I just point it out. Starmer will never go up. May even put off the general election. Well, you wouldn't put it past him, would you, Chris, on YouTube? This creature is the worst PM this country has ever known in living memory. He's got to be got rid of any way possible. Not as long as it's legal, says Suzanne Jones on YouTube. Thank you, Suzanne, for your comments. Merry Christmas to you. Traitors need to go in front of a military court as civil courts have been compromised by the Fabians. A few weeks ago, I'd have laughed at you, Terry, but you could be right. All this talk of misogyny from Jess Phillips speaks of misandry. Yeah, that's hatred of men, isn't it? I think there is a problem with misogyny in society. I think we're beginning to see that maybe with what's happening with David Walliams, although he's not been in a court of law. But I think we have to understand it as men. I mean, I'm a father of 2 girls. I want my girls to have an equal opportunity. I don't want them to be touched up by perverts. When we went to Morocco, we stayed in one of the most I went with a very well-off friend of mine, a brilliant mate of mine, Michael, and he rented, or he bought it into one of these charity auctions, one of the most expensive villas in Morocco. And it was beautiful. And inside there, with the swimming pool and the rest of it, the food was great. Fantastic. But when we went down the Casbah, it was horrid. All the blokes staring at my girls, my wife and my 2 daughters, and then trying to touch them up in the crowds. No, I don't want to live in a society like that. And anybody who comes to our country who wants to do that, they're the ones who need re-education, Jess Phillips. The ones who raped a 15-year-old girl in Leamington Spa. The ones who have been putting screwdrivers through ladies who've been working in these centres, these hotels in Warsaw. They're the ones who need re-education. Why are you letting in all these people who you don't even know who they are? They could be terrorists, they could be anything. I'm not saying all of them, but they could be anything. But you, Jess Phillips and Starmer, don't know who you're letting in. And then you make a big issue of misogyny, which I agree needs to be tackled. But I would suggest check out the flip-flop warriors first. Starmer is... I'm good today, aren't I? I'm on fire today. I'm enjoying this. Hope you're enjoying it. Hundreds of people watching, so thank you very much indeed. We could do with a few more of you donating. Starmer is dangerous. Is also my opinion, says Pam Millett, one of my regulars. Hiya, Pamela. The problem started years ago when Starmer was a human rights lawyer. Pam, he still is a human rights lawyer. If you put him on a slab, I'm not suggesting we do this, by the way, metaphorically I'm talking about, and we cut him in half like a stick of Blackpool rock, through him would be the words EU, right? And human rights. It would go all the way through his body. Cut me in half, it would say Coventry City or two-tone. But him, that's what it would be. Are you with me or against me? So then she carries on to say, he was a human rights lawyer defending terrorists and keeping them in Britain. He was. I wonder if he's under threat by them. No, I don't. That's maybe a step too far, Pam, but I understand why you're annoyed. Thank you for it. Richard Pope, Banana Republic by the Boontown Rats comes to mind with this one, John. Starmer wants it to go this way against what we want. Well, it's true. Everything he's doing, he hasn't got a popular mandate for. None of us agreed with digital ID cards. None of us agree with letting all the flip-flop warriors in. If tonight he said, that's it, I'm going to stop it, it'd suddenly become popular. Sorry about my nose. I still got this bloody cold. My daughter can't come at Christmas. She's got the flu. Have you had it? I had it a few weeks ago. I don't know whether it was flu or COVID. God, it laid me low. My poor little daughter now at the moment, she's got it terribly, and a boyfriend. So they can't come. Breaking my heart. What can you do? Digital ID is the mark of the beast, and therefore it's against my religion. Good man. Good man. What's this say? Member. What's that? Oh, Steve Harris has decided to become a member of my YouTube channel. That's easy to do as well. If you're watching on YouTube, you can click and become a member. I think the basic price is 99p, or it's $1.99 if you want to be a super fan. Why don't you become a member as well? We've only got about 40. I thought we'd have more of that. We've had loads of subscribers. So thank you for that. Nearly 6,500. Did I tell you that we've now had 2.1, well over 2.1 million views since I set up doing this in my back red bedroom? And it's growing every day. Thank you very much indeed. Tories in Disguise says Brexit Britain. What does that mean? What does that mean? Put some flesh on the bone, my friend. Niven Casey, he's always good for a comment. Let's see what he says. He's on YouTube. Hi, John. After decades of white working class males being put down because of toxic masculinity, why in God's name would anyone from this demographic sign up to fight for the country? You are absolutely right. And this is the big shock they're going to get. Toxic masculinity. And then they're going to say, hey, lads, do you fancy fighting the Russians in Ukraine to protect Ukraine? I don't think so. But this is the ludicrous thing that Starmer's created. They hate the white working class. especially men who are able to handle themselves, I guess. Some of the things those men get up to, I'm not particularly keen on, but I wouldn't write them all off. And I certainly now wouldn't say we need misogyny lessons for everyone. I was going to say we got this tits around arse or whatever the expression is, but that's probably sexist. Probably not allowed to say that anymore. But it's the wrong attitude. We've got a rape epidemic in the country. Shall we concentrate on that first? Or shall we tell little boys, because we all watch Adolescents, which, by the way, I thought was brilliant. Because we've all watched Adolescents, shall we concentrate on that first? No. Gun laws won't stop terrorism, says Den. Of course they won't. There's been Jew hatred for 2,000 years, says Chris. Precisely. It's about time we stopped it, isn't it? I just do not understand it. What have the Jews ever done to us? I sound like a bit of Monty Python film now, but it's true. Starmer will be gone by this time next year, says Matthew Davis 4323. Oh, Matthew, you're a genius, you are. Are you trying to get what's her name? Mystic Meg's job? He'll be gone by May. He should be gone by Christmas. He should have been gone by last week, Matthew. But maybe you want to say a bit more than that. But, as a simple statement, thank you. It's not just Starmer we need to get rid of. It's the whole of Labour. Well, I'd go even further. I'd say it's most of the self-serving pigs in Westminster, myself. Look at Kemi. She's been doing really well recently, and the polls show that. But then now she's turned around and said, well, it's up to the individual councils if they don't want to have the elections. In other words, if they want to save their scrawny necks and keep their snout in the trough because they know they'd get voted out by a reform member, that's okay. No, Kemi, it's not okay. It's an affront to democracy. If Starmer's doing it and it's wrong, if you do it, it's wrong too. It's not one rule for you, Kemi, and another rule for the rest. Don't become a shit. Be with the people. And I know this is ridiculous on one level, because local elections and local politics is rubbish. Right? It is absolutely rubbish. And I agree with the idea of flattening all the tiers down. Like in Warwickshire, when I lived in Warwick, we had Warwick Council, Warwick District Council, Warwickshire County Council. You don't need all them. I agree. But what you do need is never to cancel elections. I'm embarrassed Sultana is an MP in my city, says Callum Powner. You're right, Callum. So am I. But she's not from Cov, don't you? She's a Brummie. And somehow she's wheedled her way in. And now she's been kicked out of the Labour Party, but she keeps her seat. I don't see how that's possible. Because most people in Coventry, let's face it, they vote Labour. They vote Labour in Coventry. That's just what they do. There used to be Tories in that particular seat years ago, John Butcher and people. But it's Labour. So basically, a pig with a blue rosette, a red rosette on would get elected. Hard to tell the difference nowadays. So that's how Zara got elected. But now, she's not just the MP for that part of Coventry, as I say, Fossil Road, which isn't her area, but for Gaza as well. And she's going on about these people who've decided, these middle-class tosspots, who have decided, I'm on hunger strike. They'll eat. No one will die. No one will die. In fact, I was thinking about setting up a page. What do they call those pages? GoFundMe page. I did this. I got into loads of trouble with this. Remember when Myra Hindley got cancer? I think I was on BBC Radio at the time. I said, why don't we start a collection for her and buy loads of cigarettes? I meant it. I wanted the bitch to die. Well, with these lot, maybe we should set up a fund, not for them to die, but to buy them food. Get them a delivery, and they would love it, wouldn't they? Because it would be delivered by an illegal on a bike, who we should all be letting in. There was a Scottish MSP, right? I'm not sure what the S stands for, but anyway, she was saying you should let all of these people in. It's Christmas. Jesus was a refugee, which is not factually correct anyway. But these people aren't bloody refugees. They're economic migrants. Jesus didn't come on a bloody dinghy. He came on the back of a donkey, well, in his mum's tummy, actually. And he came for the census. The last time I looked at it, he didn't come as an economic migrant. Maybe I've got it wrong. I don't know. John, what WTFU we're going to do once they bring in Islamophobia. Oh, what the hell are we going to do once they bring in Islamophobia laws? They won't get them through. But anyway, and we'll laugh at them. Today is the anniversary of Michael Yates, who donated a tenner earlier. Thank you, Michael. Today is the anniversary of Lockerbie. In them days, there was outrage. Today, the government would say the passenger's the problem. How the world has changed. Michael, I'm laughing, but you're kind of right, my friend. Steve Harris, there he is. He's just become a YouTube member of the John Gaunt page. Thank you. All of this support is really, really important. Thank you very much indeed. Sorry, I've got burps. Jess Phillips, Sky News asked the Labour chair about the 2029 election. Times three. 3 times she would not answer the question. She never answers the question. She never answers the question. Badger, what are we supposed to do about Starmer and American? Then it stops. So I don't know what you're trying to say. John Rookyard, I hate bananas. Does Matron know that you're on her phone? Put it down and go and do something more sensible. Hi, John. Merry Christmas, says Craig Mawson, one of my regular contributors. Thank you for another awesome live stream. As always, keep up your fantastic. Keep it up. You're fantastic. I totally agree with you about Starmer. Thank you. I'm not fighting in any war for this government. Why would I fight a war for the government that hates me but expects me to die for them? We all know what the score is, says Callum Powner on YouTube. Brilliant point, and I think you're right. How can this generation fight in wars when they get upset if you call them the wrong pronouns? Yeah, but they're not the people they're going to be sending to war, are they? People who think about pronouns, I can't see them being in the front line against the Ruskies. Can you? Mind you, I can't see us fighting Russia. I certainly don't see why we should fight it for Zelensky and his mob. Do you? I don't understand it. I really don't. Just take a pause there for me to remind you that these podcasts are all completely independently funded. And if you'd like to help, please just click that $sign and donate as much, a couple of quid, 10 quid. Somebody yesterday donated 100, whatever you can afford, and only what you can afford, donate it to keep them going. On top of that, you could also go to www.buymeacoffee.com/John Gaunt and donate there any time of the day or week. Craig says, don't forget about the pensioners. Why not? Starmer has. No, you're not. I'm joking, Craig, but you understand what I'm saying. Darren Cummings, did you see Tyson Fury has relocated to the Isle of Man due to tax reasons? I wish it was so easy for the rest of us. Darren, that's a great point. Yeah, I did see that. Although if I had the money he had, Isle of Man would be the last bloody place I'd go. Anyway, maybe you like the place. I just think it's like a wet weekend in Blackpool without the glamour. But lots of people like it. I wouldn't go there. But he's not alone. I was out at the football. Not the football. I went to that do with Ron Atkinson. And there were 2 or 3 blokes. They're very, very wealthy, self-made men who were telling me they're relocating to Dubai. It's happening. It's happening. People with the real money are getting out of the country. And we need those people. We need those people because they create jobs. Would I go? Yeah, I would. Where would I go? Oh, yeah, Florida, probably. Carolina. North Carolina. Something like that. I don't know. India. I wouldn't mind living in India. I've been rewatching repeats, this is how sad I am, of Good Karma Hospital. I loved that show. I did. I thought it was great. It was a bit like Death in Paradise, but in India. But there weren't as many deaths. And I love that woman in it, the Bolshi woman who's the boss of the hospital. In the program, she's with, what's his name? I love him as well. He's a great actor. What's his name? The Brummy lad. He was in Boone. Big, tall lad. You know the guy I'm talking about. What a great... And he was in Men Behaving Badly. I can't remember his name. What a great, great actor he is. He was brought up in care. Did you know that? John, the pound sign isn't showing up for me on my YouTube channels, says Steve Harris. Really? Are you watching on YouTube? I don't understand. It's just underneath the screen. If anybody can tell him where it is, the $sign, then it'll help him. But if you can't donate that way, just go to www.buymeacoffee.com/John Gaunt, Steve. We'll get your money one way or another. 340,000 for the head of the council in Essex. I wonder why they don't want to vote. Yeah, but they're the officers, not the councillors. But I take on board what you're saying. He also says, what's he say? Salvation Army giving the hotel lot a Christmas party when we have veterans on the street. Yeah, I don't agree with that. Sally Army needs to get their act together. I agree. Den says, if I donated to all those begging hands on Freeview, ID Baskin. I understand what you mean. Hi, Gaunt. Pardon? I'm so glad you're back. Well, I'm not glad if you're going to call me Gaunt. My name is Gaunty, or John Gaunt, or to you, Kim. Sir, I'm joking. Thank you. I'm glad that you're enjoying my show. I am back. You're right. You're right. If I donate, he's finished his line now, dead. If I donated to all those begging hands on TV, I'd be skinned in no time at all at John Gaunt TV. You're right. Some of those channels, it's either do-it-yourself cremation, isn't it? Or it's stair lifts. Or what's the other one? Mobility. Especially if you watch GB News. You can almost play bingo. Which adverts are going to come up? I know there's a left-wing movement to stop other people advertising with them, but it gets a bit beyond a joke because by the time you've worked out how to cremate yourself, how to get up and down the stairs, how you can get in the bath without having to hook your leg over it, you feel fucking ancient, don't you? I find it all a bit depressing. Then on some of the cable channels, let's show me age. But when you look at some of them when they're talking about the donkey sanctuary or the dogs, and it's sad, and people are so horrid to animals, and I'm against it all. I'm with Ricky Gervais on this. But I can't watch all those ads. I just can't. I'd search over, so the ad doesn't work. Who is the cross-dresser in the left of the thumbnail, says Fuse Gold. Cross-dresser in the left. That's me in my shirt. What are you on about? What's wrong with that? You got a problem with your own sexuality? I haven't, mate. I'm safe in it. Alien Intelligence Agency says, Merry Christmas, Gaunty, and he's just donated £2 on YouTube on a sticker. Thank you very much, Alien. It really helps. Every penny helps. Den Spink says he lived in Stafford, John. Who lives in Stafford? What are you on about? John Muldoon, this is interesting, says he can't see the money sign too. Can anybody see or explain, because I can't, obviously, can anyone explain to these people where the dollar sign is so that they can donate? What's wrong with their screen? Is it different on a mobile? I don't know. Literally, I don't know. But if you can't find the money sign there, just open another window at the same time, go to www.buymeacoffee.com/John Gaunt. And I'll let you into a little secret. They don't take a bigger percentage of the money as YouTube. So it actually helps me a little bit more if you go that way, but you can go either way. But I just want you to be able to donate. I do apologize. I don't understand that. One of my regulars will tell me in a moment. Kim, who's just welcoming you back, Kim Krasnikiki, says the entire Europe is screwed. You're right. Europe is dying, if not already dead. Neil Morrissey. Neil Morrissey what? Oh, yes, it's Neil Morrissey I was talking about. Thank you, Richard. Yeah. I was in a pantomime, Rich. You know about this. You're from Coventry. I was in a pantomime with his girlfriend. It's not his girlfriend now. This was years ago when I first left university, which was in when was it? 1981, 82, 83, something like that. I was working backstage at the Belgrade on a pantomime, and his girlfriend, whose name escapes me, she had legs that went right up to her eyeballs. She basically played, principal boy. She was a lovely person in every respect, so I'm not being sexist. Can't remember her name. And Morrissey came to see her. And then just after that, I think he got Men Behaving Badly with Harry Enfield. But I just like him because he's had a bit of trouble in his life, but he was brought up in terrible circumstances, ended up in care with his brother, I think. But what a great actor. And I thought in Good Karma Hospital, just going off the subject for a minute, I thought he was brilliant. I thought he was really brilliant. He's turning into quite a good, serious actor as well as a comic actor. Neil Morrissey. Yeah. I left university and went off to do the pantomime. Simon Le Bon left a year earlier and went off to be an international pop star. But that's the way it goes, isn't it? Good afternoon, John. Just tuned in. You're late again, taxi driver. Don't know if it's true, John, but I heard somewhere one of the so-called Hunger Strikers is only doing it every other day. That's called intermittent fasting. I used to promote that idea. Not bad, but it's not exactly political, is it? I would love to donate, but buying just eight. I would love to donate, says Jeff Redcliffe, but in the last 18 months, I've gone from being okay to struggling. That's fine, mate. You don't have to donate if you can't afford it. That's why I always say only if you can afford it. Den Spink says him out of Boone. Correct. I'm sorry, John. I'm sorry, Gaunt. Nazi now. He's upsetting me. This Kim Krasnini called me Gaunt earlier, which I hate. But he's just said, I'm sorry, Gunty. You are the best. Just remember, the whole of Europe is effed up now. In Albania, they're now housing illegal immigrants at a military base. It's not Gunty, it's Gaunty. Right. Now, Alien Intelligence Agency, who just donated some money, he says the $sign is right next to where you type in the chat. Have you got that, everyone? If you're watching on YouTube, next to where you type. I can't see it on my screen because obviously my screen is the host screen, so to speak. Right. Jimmy Nail. Jimmy Nail what? No, it wasn't Jimmy Nail. We've already sorted it out. It was Neil Morrissey. Can't afford to send money, but myself and Mrs. sends our love for Christmas. Thank you, taxi driver 2107. Heath Collinson always criticising. Slow news day? What do you mean? Are you criticising me or are you criticising Starmer? I'm not sure. John, if Miliband takes over, we'll be in an even worse stage. Great speech, John. Yet again, I agree with everything you say. Oh, you mean my opening monologue? Thank you very much. Yeah, it's good, isn't it? I do think about these things. Sometimes I think about them too much. Right, well, that's me done. That's me done for a Sunday. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, tell all your mates. Don't forget, you can always... Oh, Heath Collinson's clarified, so he doesn't get a bollocking of me. He says, I was talking about Starmer. Yeah, slow news day, good day to very bad news. I know what you mean. Thank you very much. Right, where am I up to? What was I going to say to you? That's the end of the show. I'll do another one tomorrow. I'm not necessarily saying it'll be like normal week where I'll be doing it at 6:30. It might be another time. It might be earlier. It won't be later. It might be earlier. I've got to go and finish the shopping. Well, I thought we were meant to be having a quiet, no-spend Christmas. Never quite works out like that, does it? But there we are. So that's tomorrow. I'll probably do one Tuesday. I won't be doing one on Christmas Eve unless something massive happens, like Starmer suddenly stands down. We can but pray. But that's it. I will be back over the next couple of days. It's going to be a bit intermittent by the very nature that it's Christmas. If not, certainly start again in the new year. And don't forget, I'm normally on at 6 o'clock every day, although I'm thinking of changing that time. I'm normally on at 6 in the afternoons, but you can always watch on catch up, and that's why you should always join John Gaunt TV. Subscribe to it on YouTube. You will always get notified then, and you'll be all right. Den Spink says Martin Clunes. No, we've already realised it's Neil Morrissey. Kim Krasniki says, Gaunty, thank you. Pamela Millett says, have a lovely Christmas, John, one and all. And you have a great Christmas as well, Pam. Thank you for being such a loyal supporter and fan and donator this year. Anyway, John, have a great Christmas, says Jeff Ridcliffe. And here she is, Jackie. Jackie Ward has sent me 3 red hearts, which means that's the signal for me to stop. Right, that's me done. Hope you enjoyed it. Please tell all your friends about it. Don't forget, you can retweet the stream out. You can always push the videos out on whatever social network you're on. The more you tell people, the more the algorithm will love me, and therefore the more viewers we'll get. I've got a real feeling that next year is going to be the breakthrough year for John Gaunt TV, and it's mainly down to you. Well, it's down to me because I'm pretty good at what I do, but it's down to you lot supporting me and telling your friends, and definitely down to your donations, because I can't tell you the difference that makes. I really can't. And as I say, those people over the weekend, over yesterday, incredible donations. Thank you very much indeed. Hang on a minute, there's a few more comments coming in. What's that? No, Merry Christmas, everyone, says Kim Crispini. We're not finished for Christmas. I'm sure we'll have another go tomorrow, or definitely on Tuesday, but Then I'll have a couple of days off, and then we'll be back after Boxing Day. Right, until we speak again, if you've got kids, this is the most important thing I ever say. Give them a kiss, give them a hug. That's more important than all the presents. And don't forget to tell them that you love them. Thanks. See you later.